Hey guys! So today, as promised, we're going to be doing a inside out braid, but we're going to be doing two braids so that it's kind of like pigtails. And if you didn't watch the first video about a single inside out braid, that's okay. We're going to go over that again in this one. It's really not too complicated as long as you know the concept of a regular French braid. And if you don't know that, you can watch my video on how to do a French braid. So this one, yeah, I would watch that one first if you don't know how to do any French braiding, because I go into the details a lot more about where you should put your hands, how you should hold the braid, that kind of thing. But if you've seen that one or you already know how to do a French braid, this shouldn't be too hard. So we are going to do two inside out braids, and depending on where your part is on your hair or where you would like your part to be for these, you can put it on the side, you can put it right down the middle. I like to have a side part still because I just don't think having it parted in the middle is a good look for me. I've tried it before, it's not pretty. So I'm going to leave mine on the side. And what I do when I have a side part, I'm not going to do like a side part all the way down, because then I would have like one tiny skinny ponytail and one big thick ponytail, and it would just look really lopsided and kind of odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my part in the side here, but then I'm going to move it over into, I hope you can see that, over into the middle here like this, and then take that all the way down to the base of my neck. Try to do that relatively straight, and you can use, if you want to use like one of those combs that has a long skinny handle. They use those lots of the hairdressers, I find that just using my finger is kind of enough. Now I can't see the back obviously too well, but I'm just going to grab a second mirror here and check out the back, because I want it to be as straight as I can have it. That's going to end up being as straight as it needs to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're just going to gather one chunk of hair, one half of your hair, into a ponytail off to the side. Make it fairly tight and make sure you have all of your hairs into there, because we want to be able to braid the other side without any catching any strays or anything like that. So I have this pretty straight, pretty tight. Okay, looks super cute right now. Let's skip over to, we're going to braid this side. So we want to make sure, as usual, we're grabbing a nice chunk from the top. Don't worry about it too much because it might get messed up when we're braiding. Take our 3 sections, make them fairly even. Now, instead of our regular French braid, where we would go over like this, we are going to be doing an inside out braid, which just means the new strands are going to go under instead. So instead of going on top, they're going to go underneath like this. Okay, you can play around with your hand movement. Mine is pretty much the same as when I did a regular braid. And it doesn't look too different when I'm just doing like not a French version of it. But you'll see the difference once we actually do a French braid version of it. So we grab, gotta look in the mirror for this part. We grab our new section and the braid, we're gonna try to make it kind of down the middle here, like in the middle of this section. It's gonna be kind of right on the edge of my head here, kind of where the curve of my head is. As long as your braids are kind of, you know, similar placement on your head. You just don't want to have like one in the middle, one off to the side, because again, that's just going to look funny. But it, you know, that's the sort of thing that just comes with practice. So just keep practicing and you will get better at it. So we're going to do chunk, 3 equal sections. We're going to go underneath again. Okay, and now I'm going to add a new piece. I'm going to kind of pull from the middle here this time and the edge, because it's a little harder to grab the new sections, and that's why I want this tight as possible, so that I'm not like digging in here and pulling out sections from there by accident. And just kind of be aware of where on your head your hands are kind of staying, because if I'm braiding and my hands are down here, my braid is going to end up down there. If I'm braiding, my hands are up here, my braid will end up there. So I want it kind of in the middle. I'm still adding a new section to the old section, just like when I'm doing a single braid. Add a new section to the old section, pass it underneath. And when we get to the bottom, just like when we're doing a single braid, I like to try to keep this in 3 sections so that my braid at the end is going to be kind of equal sections again. I don't want to just take all of this and put it in here because I feel like that just makes it look a little lopsided. So just a third of this. And plus, like I said before, this hair might be longer than your other hair, or like it might end up being longer in the braid than your other hair. So you don't really want to have like one long chunk in the bottom of your braid. I'm starting to get some little loose hairs that aren't sure where they should be. I'm just trying to keep those two in one. Okay. Now if you keep braiding down your back like that, you will get kind of more down the back braids. If you turn around to the side and do it the way I'm going to, you get them sitting more in the front, like they'll flip over your shoulder a lot more easily. Either way, just make sure you keep them, like don't start braiding like this, like I had my hands when I first started, when I first turned around. If you start braiding like this, you're gonna end up with a turn in your braid right where that kink is. You can see that right here, you're gonna end up with a turn. And I don't like doing that, so I'm gonna try to keep that braid going straight. Gotta keep track of which one you just did. Okay. Oh yeah, and now that I've turned my braid, or I've turned my hands on the braid, I'm actually gonna end up going this way, like going over top again, because now I'm kind of working on the braid upside down. If I was to keep my hands on top and keep braiding down my back, I would be doing it inside out, but just kind of watch how your braid ends up and just try to follow whatever you were doing. Like whatever looks like is the next piece, whatever looks like needs to happen, just keep doing that. Because as you can see, now I've switched back to doing a regular braid just because of the way my hands got placed. But you can see, like, it is the right way to do it because my braid is still looking good. It's still looking even, it's still looking the way it should. Okay, stick a little baby ponytail on there. Okay, we have one side done. So as you can see, the braid this time is sitting on top of my head instead of being kind of interwoven into my hair. So it looks really cute when you do 2 braids like this because you just have that, like, I don't know, it's a very nice look, and it's been very popular lately, so I really like it. And you have it on front. Let's do the other side quick. So same thing. Now again, if you were doing it right down the middle, it would be a little bit more uniform when you are starting off. But because I've got the side part, my little side piece here is going to be a little bit more confusing to do. So just make sure that you are still going straight back. Okay. Remember where this braid ended up on your head and try to get this one in kind of the same area because we don't want it to be in a weird place and be lopsided. Okay, we have 3 sections. And this part is really important now. Try and make sure you're getting all of the hair from the middle here, because I find nothing more frustrating when I'm done braiding if I have, you know, all of a sudden I got like a strip of hair here that I didn't include in the braid. What do you do with that piece of hair? Like, just cut it off? That's not a good idea. But then you have to either restart your braid or accept that you have this little straggler in the middle, and I'm not a big fan of that. So when you're going to that, doing that inside section, just make sure you've gotten all of the hairs. And it seems no matter how careful I am, sometimes I still end up with a few of those little hairs. So just really, really watch for that, if that's going to drive you crazy the way it does me. Okay. Just kind of feeling to make sure that my braids are coming up on the same area of my head, so they're symmetrical. I think that they are just by feeling them. Fingers crossed. And this time I'll just braid straight down my back so you can kind of see the difference. I usually find this just harder on the arms. They're usually tired by this point, and it's getting harder to reach this lower area. And you can just start braiding up. The only problem with starting to braid up like that, where you can still reach, because I can't reach anymore going down. I could keep braiding up with my hair up like that. The only problem I find with that is a lot of the time when I do that, I end up making it too tight on the top. So then when I let go of the braid, it pulls a lot on top. You can feel that it's too tight up there. So you can definitely do that. Just be aware of that and make sure you don't like tighten it too hard as you go. But I'm just going to spin around. Okay. And because I haven't turned my braid, I'm still going inside out. I'm just following whichever way the braid was set. This is what I wanted to keep doing, so we're going to keep doing that. And stick a ponytail in. And then we'll be done. And we'll just check and make sure, oh, look at this. I missed, as careful as I was, I still got these little hairs. Now, I think most of them are because they're just not long enough to like get in the braid and stay in the braid, but like this one, that one's long enough. I just missed it. I guess you can't really see it, so it's fine, but it just bothers me a little bit, And it seems no matter how careful you are, that still happens. So, the front is all right. I probably would just spray back these little tiny flyaways, or maybe straighten them down just so they're not like straight out, because that's my hair curse, is the little flyaways that never seem to do anything. They don't grow, they don't straighten, they just stick straight out. So if we just tuck those back, you can pin them back into your hair if you want. You just have to be careful because it's pretty short, so it's not really going to reach all the way into the braid. And I don't really like to have a bobby pin just stuck in my hair there. So usually if you kind of tuck them behind your ears, they'll stay, or you can spray them, or just accept them. That's fine too. Okay, so it looks really good from the front. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let's just pull this out a little bit, give it a little more volume on the front. And I didn't actually fluff this one at all, I'm just remembering. So we'll just go back and do a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Now just going off feel, this one's not exactly in the same place. I would like it better if it was a little bit more to the side here, like that. But they're not going to be perfect, and they shouldn't be perfect. They should not be exactly the same. That would be kind of ridiculous. So let's just give the second mirror, double check that it looks good at the back. It does, except for this one little hair. that I can see. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so it looks all right. I think I would like it to be a little bit tighter. So I think if I was going to do this again, I would probably just do it a little bit tighter on the inside here. And I would maybe have less of an extreme part so that I have, because this one starts so much lower, I think I would do less an extreme part and I would have it more up here. But otherwise, I think that looks really nice. Turned out pretty good. As you can see, I got the braids on top of my hair this time instead of kind of tucked inside. Looks nice from the sides, I think. From that side, looks pretty good. Okay, there you have it. 2 Dutch braids. Okay, thanks for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you have a different hairstyle you'd like me to do. And thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.